Hello everybody, welcome back to this channel today. We've got another tier list today, probably one more for the UK viewers today really, because it's the biggest UK supermarkets, the biggest 9. These are the sort of supermarkets that, most big towns will probably have over half of these at least. They're the most common ones. There are some others that haven't made the list, that, Marks and Spencer's, you could debate that's a supermarket, and like farm foods, I guess, but these are the main ones for sure. I imagine they'll be the biggest 9. Yeah, I'd say so. Some of these are also definitely things outside of the UK as well, so some other people in other countries might know some of them as well. Okay, so we're going to start off by ranking Aldi. Aldi it's like a bargain sort of supermarket. It's got it sort of sells itself on having the cheapest prices, but it doesn't. It does mainly focus on food, but then it has like sort of a memeish things like the Aldi middle aisle, which is just full of absolute random stuff. Like you can get anything. You go in one week and it's just like drills, and you go in the next week and it's like snorkels and dog food and whatever. You don't know what you're gonna get. But yeah, it's a decent option. It's pretty cheap. Don't have like the best selections. When they scan you at the tills, they make you go and pack all your bags on a table, which is annoying. At least the one that I go in does. Yeah, it's decent. I believe it's a German company, so surely you have these in Germany as well, I'd imagine, at least. So some people might know already. I'd say it's a solid BT. It's decent value. Don't have the best choices and the best service, but it's cheap. Gets the job done. Okay, next up we've got Asda. Asda's actually owned by Walmart, I believe. So that they've got that. This is one of probably the big 3, I guess you'd say. That's like Asda, Sainsbury's and Tesco, that are like the 3 main supermarkets in the UK. The biggest 3 anyway. I think Asda's it should be second or third with Sainsbury's, to be honest. So one of the biggest in the UK. They're all over the place. Sells absolutely everything. Decent prices. Not like it's not sort of cheap like Aldi, but it's also definitely not. It's definitely known for not being expensive in terms of how cheap things can be these days. Everything's going up these days, but yeah, Asda, it's pretty decent supermarket. I think I'm gonna go for A tier for Asda. Wide range of stuff, decent prices, decent service, available. Yeah, I think it's fair. Co-op food. I'm not as familiar with this one. I can't say. I think I've been in one in years. There used to be one where I lived when I was younger, but there isn't any around me now, I don't think. Co-op is like they have lots of different branches. They do all sorts of stuff. It's not like a weird company that started doing everything. There's like Co-op funeral care, Co-op optician, stuff like that. But they're all sort of weird separate businesses that are one business. It's a bit of a strange operation, to be honest. In terms of like the supermarket, I think Co-op was known for sort of being cheapish, but like I say, I don't have that much experience with it recently. So I'll put it in C tier. I'm not the most familiar with it, to be honest, and I haven't heard anything good or bad about it really. So C tier sort of seems fine to me. Okay, next up we've got Iceland. This is like a supermarket that focuses. Yeah, it like only does food, but it sort of focuses on frozen food more. As the name would suggest, Iceland. Does like sort of big frozen things. Tries to be cheap, but it doesn't have the best selection. It's decent though. Decent if you just want food, but you will have to go somewhere else for like your other essentials, because it's only stocking the food and mainly on the frozen stuff, so you're definitely not getting the widest selection if you're wanting non-frozen things as well. But overall, I think Iceland's not bad as well. We'll put it in B tier. Okay, then we've got Lidl, or Lidl, I think they want to be called. This sort of is like the big competitor with Aldi. I think they're both German, and they both like are in the sort of bargain supermarket like battle. They also have like the middle aisle thing, which just gets stocked with completely random stuff. It's basically just almost the exact same as Aldi from my experience. It's just, I guess, your personal preference or whichever's closer to you for which you prefer. So to me, I couldn't really differentiate it from Aldi too much, so I'll put it in the same tier as Aldi, just a nice B tier. Cheap, not the big selection, not the best service, but you know, fine. Okay, next up we've got Morrison's. Morrison's is, you know, the supermarket that sort of does everything as well, but it's like not as popular as the big three, the Asda, the Sainsbury's, the Tesco's. Definitely less popular than those. There's less of them about. You don't see them as often. But yeah, they do everything. I think they sort of like try and pride themselves on having a good like butchers and like fish counter and all the cheese counter and stuff, like the deli sections. I guess I think is their sort of selling point as such. It's you know, so I'm not as familiar with that as the others. I have been in Morrison's recently, but I don't go as often as others on the list. I think like a size, and you don't really hear anything that much about Morrison's. I feel like it's probably it's decent though. Yeah, if I remember, it's good. Like the deli stuff is quite good. Like they're all made, like the bakery stuff, the meats and things. I think it can go in A tier. I think it's you know, it's got the good selection. I think it's fairly good on prices. Has like the fresh deli section and the bakery section as a sort of selling point. Yeah, but I'm not as familiar with, so I think it is fair, but I could be wrong on that. Sainsbury's is sort of like, I guess, the premium option of like the big three. Like I associate Sainsbury's as being more expensive out of like as the Tesco and Sainsbury's, but you know, it's still not expensive. You know, they do everything like the other ones, like the big supermarkets, from you know, food to clothes, toys, whatever, you know, anything that a sort of general supermarket they'll do. But sort of they like the sort of like premium, slightly more premium things, like you know, like taste the different sizes, you know, healthier, better for you sort of thing. So it is slightly more expensive than the other ones from my experience, than like the other big ones. So that's a downside for me, you know. Pricing and being expensive is an absolute major downside for, I'm sure, most people. So I think Sainsbury's can go into B as well. It's got the selection and the things available, the service, but it's just a bit more expensive than some of the other bigger ones. Tesco next. Almost definitely the biggest sort of supermarket chain in the UK, especially with like they have lots of little, they call them Tesco Expresses. They're like sort of like corner shops or smaller shops that are all over the place that these other supermarkets don't really have as much. So they also have that, which sort of helps them as well, you know, just get more customers and have more sales and things. It has the selection, does everything. Even they have like the mobile network from Tesco you can get and things like that. They do literally absolutely everything. Yeah, the meal deal, although it's gone up now, but you know, it used to be £3, absolutely like staple of British lunchtime was Tesco meal deal. You know, like a main and a side and a drink, £3, you couldn't complain. But I think it has gone up recently, and like everyone were losing their head about that. You know, the Tesco club card is like being insulted a bit these days. You know, like, oh, you need a club card to get all the deals. But you know, you get good deals as well if you do have one. You can get vouchers and stuff. I think most of them probably have that, but Tesco's just the biggest, so it's most well known. I think, to be fair, Tesco is my favourite. You know, it's the one I go in most due to just availability and everything. Mainly because it's, you know, you can do your big shop and like if you need to like popped at corner shop for something, they have lots of them as well. So yeah, Tesco I think is S tier, it's fair. Now Waitrose, this one is the sort of the upmarket supermarket as such. You know, it's associated with like being posh or being rich. If you're shopping at Waitrose, your life's probably going pretty well, to be honest, if you've got the money to go there. And just because of that, and for me personally, you know, if you're known for being like expensive and posh, for me that's just not appealing to me. I'm sure to other people, sort of being the premium supermarket would be the selling point, but to me that's a downside. So you put Waitrose in the bottom tier just for being expensive, to be honest. There also isn't many near where I live, I don't think, because you know I don't live in a nice enough area for even a Waitrose to be around here. So yep, this from our top 9 actually UK supermarkets tier list. For people who don't live in the UK, sorry if you don't understand anything about this one, but you know, feel free to suggest a tier list that you would know something about. If you've watched this far, thank you very much and goodbye.